This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
The Enforcement Directorate lands at the Raj Nivas to meet the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. They were in for a continuous 20 minutes. Ragging culprit John David is sent behind bars for life by the Supreme Court. After 14 years comes the closure of a Navaras's family. Karunanidhi files 2 defamation cases against Amma, taking exception to remarks fearing violence on poll day and alleging non-payment to security personnel. The Madras High Court exempts Jayalalitha from appearing in person in the 1992 gifts case. Charges haven't been framed yet as main revision is pending. The PSLV C-16 takes off successfully, while a CAG report says most images taken by ISRO satellites were unused. An MDMK leader, Vaiko, is out to target the Sri Lankan president once again, demands Rajapaksa be tried for war crimes. Welcome to the late night news on NDTV Hindu. I'm Evelyn Matthew. A quick scan of the national headlines at this hour. Sanjay Chandra is asked to step down as Unitech Wireless chairman as his bail plea along with 4 accused is rejected. A fresh controversy hits the Bhushans, this time over preferential land allotment by Mayawati. Shanti Bhushan's son is fighting a case against her. The 5-year-old whose kidnapping stunned the nation is alive, well and back home in Mumbai. The top cop in charge calls it a lucky escape. And BlackBerry's playbook is out, but will it pose a challenge to the Apple's iPad? Our top story tonight, the Union Territory of Puducherry witnessed high drama today thanks to a high-level probe going on by the Enforcement Directorate. Initially, the crowds outside the Raj Nivas was sent into a frenzy when the public relation officer there denied any such visit by the agency. But after conflicting reports over the presence of the investigating officials this evening, it was confirmed by the personal secretary to Mr. Iqbal Singh that the officials did come for almost 20 minutes as part of the investigation process. This is in relation to the probe around Lieutenant Governor Iqbal Singh's links with Hassan Ali Khan, and a day after the go-ahead by the PMO was obtained. Mr. Singh's name was cropped up, it was in fact came up during the questioning of a Bihar-based Congress leader in connection with recommendations for a passport to Hassan Ali Khan. Mr. Singh has admitted to having given such a recommendation but claimed he never knew him. Earlier in the day, about 30 agitated persons took to the streets of Puducherry demanding Singh's resignation but were then arrested. They were also sending out telegrams to the President and the Prime Minister asking them to take action against the official, promising to continue agitations till he is removed. Here's in fact the personal secretary to Mr. Iqbal Singh confirming that the men who paid a flying visit to the Raj Nivas were the Enforcement Directorate officials.
Today evening, at about 5 o'clock, some 3 people from ED came here. They were here for 20 minutes and they have gone back.
Will they be coming back again, sir?
Pata nahi, I don't know, sir.
And what transpired between the team and the governor?
That I am not aware.
How long they were here?
For 20 minutes they were here.
They were from Delhi or Chennai?
They said they were from ED. They didn't say where from they came.
Okay, they didn't inquire
What
governor.
was the purpose, sir? Why were they here?
Pata nahi, sir. They came, they went up, they came back. That's all.
Did
Did they meet the LG?
They went up. I don't know whether he met or not. I am not aware. Actually, I can talk only what I am aware of.
So was there any interrogation of the governor?
No. See,
Was there any questioning of the governor?
As private secretary to the governor, when you say you don't know what happened, did they meet the governor or not?
Because I didn't go with those people to LG. I didn't go with them.
But LG briefed you about...
What
No, he didn't.
Sir, did they interrogate the governor?
Did they question LG, sir?
I'm not aware, sir.
Then what was the purpose of the visit, sir? Then what was the purpose of the visit?
Please, actually they came, they went up, they came back after 20 minutes.
After meeting the governor?
Yes, that I don't know because I don't know what happened. So they said they were from ED. They didn't tell their name.
Names of the
They didn't tell, sir. They didn't tell me at least.
There are reports. At least confirm whether they met with the LG. See, if they go up and come, it's a very vague reply.
I understand your thing, but I got my own limitations. I can tell you what I know.
So you're confirming, are you confirming that the ED was here at 5 o'clock to
Yeah.
meet the Lieutenant Governor?
Yeah.
And was there a meeting with the Lieutenant Governor?
They go up, no?
They went up, they came down after 15 minutes. I don't know whether they met him or not. They didn't say anything about that to me.
Was there a questionnaire submitted to the Lieutenant Governor?
That I'm not aware.
So was there any videograph?
There are reports
there
emanating
any
that the
videograph,
Lieutenant
sir?
Governor is planning to resign by today evening or tomorrow. Do you have any confirmation on that?
No idea.
And are they going to come tomorrow also, sir?
No idea, sir.
Did
I don't know.
did he receive any summons from the ED?
I don't know whether he received it from our office. We didn't receive anything.
Once they
The
go up,
office
means-
didn't receive
No.
any
once they
summons.
go up, they would have met the governor, no?
There is a report from the Ministry of Home Affairs that a clear report has gone to the Lieutenant Governor through the Secretary that he will be actually, he's been asked to cooperate with the Enforcement Directorate. Have you received that letter or not?
Maybe secretary would have received it, we would have given it to him. I'm not aware of that.
And joining us over the phone line is our reporter Ashmit Kumar, who's been tracking those developments very closely. Ashmit, any startling developments that we could expect late into the night today?
Well, Evan, having followed this development for some time now, again, it's hard to rule out any startling developments, as you put it. Again, we are getting news flows about, again, this does paint an extreme picture, but we are getting a lot of updates about developments that could happen over the course of this night and then that are expected tomorrow morning. Of course, the more obvious ones at this point, the more likely informed guesses that are likely to actually happen tomorrow is number one, that the ED might be coming back for an interrogation of the Lieutenant Governor. So that is kind of big news. The second, of course, big factor is the resignation. A big question mark over that. It's been a hush-hush topic. No one has been talking about it. No one has been. We have received no intimation from the official sources, from people within the Raja Nivas. It's only our sources that are giving us some form of indication towards what is expected. And despite the fact that it's late in the night, again, the developments haven't died down. In fact, we are getting fresh sources of perhaps some action that we can expect in terms of perhaps a resignation letter, in terms of a visit by ED. Again, this does paint an extreme picture because, again, these are secondary sources who are giving us the information. But nonetheless, the whole of this does give us a perspective to the scope of this issue here. I mean, this is the very first time that a central probing agency is actually investigating and probing and interrogating a Lieutenant Governor who hasn't quite resigned. So this does paint a very, very clear picture of the scenario that we're staring at. He's looking at very limited options right now. In fact, the Lieutenant Governor has very few options at his disposal at this point. In fact, people are saying that he's looking for an honorable and a respectable exit at this point, more than actually coming out with a clean sheet and then moving forward. It's actually more a question of when rather than a question of if. So that's the situation as of now coming in from Pondicherry.
Right, Ashmit. Also, has Mr. Iqbal Singh left the Raj Nivas after the ED's visit? Do we know about whether there were more officials, perhaps close to Mr. Singh, walking into that building while you were there?
Evelyn, there's a lot of disturbance. I'm not sure I caught that.
Were there more officials perhaps walking into the Raj Nivas while you were there? Do we know if Mr. Singh has left the Raj Nivas as well?
Evelyn, it's difficult to get what you're saying, but if I can get a sense of, again, if I can just give you a picture of how the day has been. It has been a day where it has been and almost a needy silence outside of the media personnel who are out here, outside of a few sources who are roaming the places, outside of a few police personnel. It's been a place where there's almost been an eerie sense of calm. People have not been talking. Officials have been giving us multiple versions to the same development. We had witnessed the PRO and the private secretary come out with different versions. So it has been a largely hush-hush day, a very secretive day where little information is being disposed, but nonetheless it does give us a sense of the troublesome picture and perhaps a picture of how all the guns are squarely trained at the Lieutenant Governor.
Right. Thanks very much indeed, Rashmit, for joining us with those details. That is going to be a story that we're going to be closely watching and tracking as well here on NDTV Hindu. Moving on, in a remarkable judgment after almost 14 years, the Supreme Court pronounced a life sentence for a man who ragged his classmate in the state and then killed him and cut up his body. The court has now ordered the culprit, John David, to surrender immediately or face arrest. David was earlier found guilty by a trial court and sentenced to life, but the Madras High Court had then overturned the ruling The victim in this case, Navarasa, was the son of a former vice-chancellor of the Madras University. His disfigured remains were found by the outskirts of Chennai a day after he went missing. The verdict today came on an appeal by the government of Tamil Nadu. NDTV's chief legal correspondent Arunachalam Vaidyanathan, who is following this development at the Supreme Court in Delhi, spoke to the counsel for the state of Tamil Nadu. Here's what he had to say about the verdict today.
Supreme Court today reversed the Madras High Court judgment and handed over life sentence to John David, who racked and killed Navarsu, his classmate. Joining us today is Tamil Nadu Counsel, Mr. Dhananjayan. Dhananjayan, what happens now?
The Supreme Court today confirmed the conviction given by the trial court to the accused John David, and also reversed the order of the acquittal by the High Court.
So what happens now? He will be immediately arrested?
And also directed, the accused should be arrested immediately.
So he will be taken into custody by the
Tamil Nadu taken by the police.
So what is the main basically argument, and also is it basically ragging case?
In fact, because of ragging he was killed. John David was in the habit of ragging the juniors and extracting works from them. This deceased, that son of vice chancellor, refused to do his work. Then he was taken into his room and was murdered by John David because he refused to do his homeworks.
But today, what are the reasons given by the Supreme Court in reversing the Madras High Court judgment?
Mainly on the basis of the confession given by the accused. The head of the deceased was recovered, and also the blood stains were found in the suitcase in which the John David carried the torso of the Navarasa, the deceased.
Secondly, sir, this happened in November 1996, almost 14 years and 5 months. It's getting justice. Don't you think it's a justice delayed, particularly for the parents who had a high position at the time? He also has to wait for such a long time.
There are no comments.
Anyway, that was Mr. Dhananjayan who was saying that, of course, even after 14 years, there is light for justice. In New Delhi, Arunachalam Vaidyanathan for NDTV.
Up ahead on the bulletin, it's a homecoming that a 5-year-old will never forget. Amchi Mumbai celebrates along with the virtual world.